All right, so I get told all the time I need to post more on social media. So of course, might as well use Finish Line Factory as a sponsor. Stock a lot of AN fittings from them. Um, doesn't seem like much, but that gives me just about everything I usually need. Everything from what dash six up to I got some dash 20 on there. A lot of 8 AN stuff, a little bit of everything. So yeah. Anyway, so been doing a few projects here. One, we got this 64 Impala. That's been kind of a long project. Car was built once before by a previous shop that messed some stuff up. Won't say what it is, but nonetheless, the car started on fire. Beautiful car, love the color. Just got back from paint and body here not too long ago, of course, after the fire. It melted some paint off the roof. Of course, made a lot of other things pop. We had some issues in the back as far as some fitment issues, all kinds of stuff. Known this guy for quite a few years, and so now, of course, it's here. It's got an LS3, of course, all aluminum block, things like that. Well, most of the fire damage happened in the engine bay, and of course in this region. Clearly you can tell it torched the few things with the steering column. The gauge bezel there was all, melted. Everything else. We just had all kinds of issues here. So I got to go through the block, figure out, of course, if the block is still any good or not, and a few other things. So majority of everything is I have it. It's just a matter of going through everything, figuring out whether or not it's usable, salvageable, whether it needs to be restored again or not. This customer's had this car since I believe he's like 14 or 15 years old, so a little sentimental value. He's now in his mid 40s, so he of course wants to keep this car. Another car we're working on is a 69 Camaro that was built by another shop years ago. We've had nothing but issues with this car. Everything from fitment issues with wheels and tires. Clearly you can tell that the factory rallies are on the front. That's not such an issue. Just kind of holding off on putting the new wheels on it until it's ready for, of course, the road. I do have the new wheels on the rear. And we're going to have to get this thing sitting a little bit nicer. But nonetheless, it will be a nice car when it's all said and done. But also have vintage air unit in this car. Obviously an LS. Be a 5.7 all aluminum. Customer wanted to paint it orange. Me and the way I like to think about things is being a Yenko clone. Those are aluminum 427s. Kind of sucks painting an aluminum block and heads. Of course, Hugger orange. We've had nothing but fitment issues on this car. Everything from engine placement with the headers, with the steering gear on this side. Passenger side's not so bad. There's no issues there, but of course I had this engine in and out here 3 or 4 times, and I've done enough of these cars, especially the first gen Camaros, that usually I don't have this much real estate behind the engine. Usually the back of the head here is pretty tight to the firewall. This is the fuel line that I still got to finish. The hookup here, I'll probably tuck that up nice. Anyway, so yeah, it actually did work out. We did do, ended up doing a T56 6-speed manual in this car. No training modifications or training tunnel modifications done to this car at all to get this transmission to fit. I got my little ways of doing it and getting the pinion angle still right with having no issues as far as fitment go. It's a little tricky, but it does work. And each one of these, since none of these cars were ever the same from the factory, there's always little differences here and there. I build my own cross members. A lot of other parts that I generally make just for these cars when you're doing a similar swap to this. Usually in these cars, like I said, I move these engines back as far as I can. This car, for some stupid reason, has not worked out that way. So we got a new master cylinder for that too. As far as fitment issues go, usually this engine's back as far as it'll go, especially on these adapting engine mounts. This engine is roughly sitting about 1.5 inches further forward than I'm used to, but in this car, for some reason, it worked out. So, yeah, is what it is in this car, whatever. So, just a few issues we're trying to work through. I mean, even the firewall was messed up so far to the point of the this plate right here is part of the Vintage Air unit. This one's actually a different plate than Vintage Air actually sends because it just didn't fit right. So I made a whole new plate similar to theirs, just had to make the holes a little bit different. And I didn't want a bunch of extra holes in the plate that they made, so I just thought, you know, for the time and money it's going to take, I'll just make a new plate with the holes in the right spot. Beautiful car otherwise. Also working on a 1945 Chevy pickup. This has been a project for a few years now, about, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years. Customer had some health issues. Of course, doing an LS because why not? That's what we do with just about everything. About 90% of everything we do is LS. Corvette front and rear suspension. Independent rear. Got the exhaust done the other day. Transmission we finally got sitting back here. As soon as I get this car done up here, we'll roll this one back forward, get it up in the air, make sure that, of course, the transmission, this one is different than the one that's in the truck now, make sure everything's going to fit. We're doing a roll cage in it, and as you can see, we're trying to tuck it in as nice as possible to everything we can to keep it as hidden and non-obtrusive. So this cab is stretched 4 inches. It's chopped 4 inches and it's channeled 4 inches. So this thing will have a nice low profile and all that. So a lot of things going in this truck. It already has a Vintage Air unit in it. It'll have power windows, power locks, all kinds of creature comforts that a lot of street rods nowadays don't generally get, but this one will have it. So we have the air side pipe bent up here as duplicate to this pipe. And so, yeah, we're doing, I believe, an LSA. So it'd basically be a supercharged LS in this thing. I would assume it should be good for around 650 to 750 horse, depending upon a few internal issues that or a few internal ideas that we've been talking about. So, yeah. So that should be pretty fun, you know. I think the thing weighs right around 2,300 pounds as it sits. Of course, fully dressed basically as it sits right now. You know, the grill, radiator, hood, doors, seats, everything that were in it. So, should be all right. Should be pretty fun. Especially with, let's call it 600 or 700 horse. A few things we got to do a little different, of course. Wheels and tires will be different, things like that. But yeah, a few things going on. So as soon as this car gets done with wiring, get a few internal things done, this one will go off to upholstery, and then I can kind of focus on the engine a little bit, figure out a few things there. This one, we're just trying to finish up things exhaust-wise, this was originally a big block car with a 4-speed. We're trying to get those things kind of buttoned up to get the headers to match up to the exhaust, and finish up some wiring, of course. As people have seen, we like to kind of pride ourselves on the way we do some of our wiring, keep them up tucked nice. You don't see a lot of it. Of course, with LSs, you can only hide so much, but still want it to look functional, but yet not, none of this stuff. We don't like that. Granted, these are wires we took off from the big block, so I don't like to even see things this dirty. So, yeah, a few things going on. We also got a what is it, a 49 Chevy pickup down in the shed on air ride that we're doing. And also 67 GTO that we'll be doing. That'll be a pretty similar build to this. I'll have a different chassis underneath it, everything else. Also a 68 Roadrunner in the shed that we got going on. And what else is down there? Oh, 77 Corvette, same owner as this, that we have to do interior on, and a few other things. My son's got a 94 Camaro. He's 14, so we've been talking about building that car and do more of a drag car. So that's kind of on a back burner type of thing. My personal 78 Malibu that is a Pro Street car. Well, Pro Street, Pro Touring. I'm not sure which way we're going with it. Complete tube chassis car. I was going to run a twin turbo LS, and I decided I don't know if I want to run a twin turbo LS. Everybody's doing it. I get it. Reliable horsepower makes sense. But kind of on the fence if I'm going to go that route or not. Chassis is pretty much all done, which is kind of nice, but it's got a Dana 60 in it. The previous builder was doing a Dana 60. Not a huge fan. I'd probably go to a Ford 9-inch in that thing. It's set up more for drag racing purposes, but I might be thinking maybe I revamp it a little bit and make it more into a all-out, a little bit of everything car. Be able to go hit the drag strip, be able to go hit the road course, autocross. I mean, who knows? Maybe even drift it. Don't know. Maybe basically just an all-around fun car, and 100% streetable. So, yeah, just really on the fence on how we want to do that one. But, yeah, so a lot of stuff going on, and we're still right now roughly 3 years out before I take out anything more, because just what's in the shop right now, Camaro shouldn't take too much longer. Impala's going to take quite a bit. The 45 is going to take a lot. The 67 GTO is going to be a 2 to 3 year build, depending upon the availability of a lot of things and, of course, time. And so, considering I say we a lot, I say we all the time. I don't know why. For the most part, it's just me. I have a few friends that do help every now and again. If they got a day off, need to move some stuff around, things like that. But for the most part, it's just me. But I'll always say we. So if anybody asks how many employees I have, it's this guy. That's it. So, yeah. But we're going to try to start posting more as time goes on and kind of see how things work out. Got some friends that do some more YouTube channel stuff, and apparently I've been slacking, so we'll work on that. But yeah, stay tuned for more. We'll try to keep everybody updated, and might be some interesting stuff, might not be, but we'll just try to keep going.